Hello friends, welcome back. So this is one of the common questions like many people you would like to know from me as well as from other students who are studying in Japan, maybe even other living people in Japan. So some of the 10 questions I have made across all the sectors about my study and life in Japan and the language barrier. All these questions I'll read out and I'll answer you. I hope you'll find these answers very much helpful for those who are aspiring to know about Japan and to want to come to Japan and even to live in Japan. So let me share this experience, the questions. So the first question, can you share your journey from India to Japan? What inspired you to pursue higher education in Japanese university? It's one of the most common thrusting question for most of you when you plan to come to study in Japan, or maybe when you're planning to check for studying abroad also. So for me, my journey from India to Japan, I actually was studying in IIT Madras, my master course, and before that I was studying in my RGKT University in Kadapa, Andhra Pradesh, and I have worked in the research projects for 3 to 5 years in IIT Madras and IIT Hyderabad, IIT Guwahati, and all these projects like it driven me my interest in research further. It was so fascinating to work in the advanced cutting edge projects, and it was so challenging sometimes when you tackle the new problems without knowing the solution, how it go we don't know. So it was so interesting for me, the research journey and the academic journey. So I started looking into my further PhD plans during my master's course. Before master's course, I have a thought, but during my master's, after my visit to a conference during my master to Japan, and then I had a internship experience. So it further made my journey or my interest to come to Japan more stronger. Then the Japanese universities, meanwhile, I had done a review, and it's a kind of I had studied various sources and discussed to seniors, and it's almost competitive with any other universities in the global. The research standards are almost quite competitive compared to global standards, and the research subject which I'll be working on, the discussions and the thought I'll be working on this particular field was so fascinating. So I decided to come to Japan. Then my scholarship application and the selection also, it took quite a bit of time. The Japanese application, maybe it's same for all, not all, some of the countries you will have less processing time, but for Japan it is almost 10 months to 1 year, around 10 months to 1 year minimum. Application, acceptance, interviews, and again acceptance and final confirmation. There is phases of procedure. I think you know those who are watching for the scholarship. And what inspired you? So the work culture in Japan and the research, the sources and the support system, they are inspirations for me. That's the first question. The second question, how was your experience as an international student in Japan has been different from what you expected? So the differences so far from my experiences, what I can speak now is that there are more I can speak, but for now let me put into simple words. The research work atmosphere is quite different from each laboratory to laboratory, even within India or even within Japan. It's not same, and for my laboratory I like it, so I'm happy with that research culture. And what is different means the interactions and the way of tackling problems, all it's quite culture differences there, and the working culture difference is there. Yes, it was sometimes interesting, sometimes challenging to adopt, and now it's almost 2+ years now, close to 2.5 years. So I am perfectly fine on this culture gap and all, so that I can see the how it goes. For me, yeah, it was interesting journey. I could say the differences as an international student studying in a Japanese laboratory. And in my laboratory until last year there was only me as an international student. Now there are two students, and previously one or two students they graduated. That's another typical experience you will come across when you plan to come to Japan or when you plan to study in Japanese university. The third question, what field of study you are currently engaged in, and how did you decide on the particular area? So this broad area, I could say it's nanoscience. Previously, I was in microscience, like I was studying with the microscale synthesis and processing using lasers, and then slowly I switched in IIT Chennai, Madras itself. I switched slowly my research into nanoscale analysis, and then I find more interest in this field, and then I chosen to work on this field, and I thought I'll choose some cutting edge area in this field, which is possible in the resources available in the laboratories, then I choose the nanoscience synthesis using plasma and using laser in the previous projects. So that's my how I choose. That's one example I could say. Another thing is that the field has itself has its own I think every field has that advantages. If you are doing the research based studies, you'll find the advances and application sectors. That's another thing I could say how I decided. So the future scope and my future interest in this domain I wanted to work, and I wanted to integrate the experience of what I worked in the previous projects. So that is, I could say. So the fourth question, language is often challenging for international students. Yes, right, it's quite, it says we cannot say no. How did you manage the language transition, especially from considering the differences between Indian languages and Japanese languages? So I'm from India, and especially I'm from Andhra Pradesh, where we speak a different language from the neighboring states and even neighboring states all over India. So it's like we already had this basic challenge when I switched from the Telugu medium to English medium, and again English medium to when I go to the IIT Guwahati, wherein I have to work in English, but outside mostly it's in Hindi, and I become familiar with my seniors while talking to them Hindi also. It's kind of practiced from switching language and working atmosphere. Likewise, it's even more hard or more intense when you come to Japan. It's a completely different grammar and way of speaking. All the things are different. Fortunately, I'm lucky to have the basic education in the internship where I can study the Japanese for 1 month, and I got the basic culture and the language studies for almost 4 weeks, and that was given me foundation to further study. Later, I started learning my language and the grammar, and further the studies vocabulary in Minna no Nihongo and other books. And I also started learning from my friends in the laboratory and also the Japanese friends when I meet outside. So overall it is a challenging, but if you are adaptable, if you know already this culture gap, if you are coming abroad, I think it's doable, and many people are doing. It's not you or me, it's many people around who come abroad, they do this one. Yes, I started learning, and in Indian languages I sometimes teach to Japanese people and the friends around. They are also interested to learn different cultures and languages when there is a time. So the differences in the languages, like we have the characters. Let's say in Telugu we mostly speak the grammar too much when we learn, and then language letters, I think it's one letters, but in English we have small and small ABCD, big ABCD, like that. So it's the same, but it's not so much different. But in Japanese we have three letters. What is that? Hiragana, katakana, and kanji. And again all three will go together sometimes, and sometimes will not go together. So that's a tricky part. So that's a difference in the language. And the reading also, like again this kanji will have Chinese reading and Japanese reading, and hiragana when it goes with kanji, and how the reading changes. All these things are factors to remember and to memorize. So I'm still not proficient, but yes, I can communicate to my best recent days, and it's been better than beginning. So, can you share your insights on the cultural differences you have noticed between India and Japan, both academical and daily life? So, it's actually quite a long question to answer, because the cultural differences between India and Japan are between the daily life, everything. There are so many things. Even whatever I say with you, whatever you discuss with me, we cannot comprehend in a quick short few minutes. It is a long discussion. So, I would say like the major differences is the time sense, the punctuality. They come way early and they go way late. It's not like the finishing time, many times they don't bother, and the starting time they come way early as per the schedules. And the second one, the public transport system is very much practical, and they keep updating as per the need for the people around. And the services and the system, it's different from India, because India is a population is more, and the services are very different. Managing services and the managing people are different. So it's, I think, quite different poles to compare. Which is best is we cannot judge directly, but it's quite different. And also when I go day to day life, the convenience stores, it's like mini supermarkets. You will get almost everything you need for the daily day survival. When you're super busy, it is your savior. You will literally get your days off, like your drinks for coffee or drinks, or maybe for the snacks or for meals. You can quickly buy and keep doing your work. You don't need to search for too many things when you're too much busy. So that's another interesting difference, I could say, from my daily life. And outside the trains, it's a common difference. I think it's you should know. The difference is that here in trains we cannot speak. It's not allowed in the bus and trains, and you cannot eat some of the transportation media. In India, I think that is not so strict in all the routes, but few like the metros, it is same. But here it's even public transport everywhere. People don't speak. They operate in the mobile and they keep silent, and they keep phones, everything silent. Publicly ringing phones, I hardly seen people getting phone calls and talking in public. It's very rare, and they may call, but not so often. It is there. I seen people nowadays, but it's not so regular. And also the phone calls, like the talking to friends and family, I don't see so much. Like it's a cultural difference, I could say. In India, we often keep talking to parents and friends and family around evening hours, or maybe next day, or at least weekends. So that they may talk, but we cannot see too much when you notice as a normal visitor, or maybe normal observer. It's not so normal to see. So the rapid fire for me: the Bollywood or Japanese anime? I could say Bollywood, but Japanese anime I didn't watch quite well. Bollywood also, some movies are very interesting for me, so Bollywood. Favorite Japanese dish you have tried since being there? My favorite Japanese dish, I could say the soba noodles is my best, and so far it's my favorite. Share the funniest cultural misunderstanding you have experienced. The cultural misunderstanding I have experienced, I think the meaning of the time sense, or the maybe the when we need to go for parties. I told in some of the videos, exactly on time means it's not very early, it's not very late. It's exactly on time, 5 to 10 minutes before. That is a slot. So I sometimes confuse when I go to some meetings and some gatherings. So that's funniest cultural misunderstanding. Top three things you miss about India. The top three things: the food, of course, the food, and the family functions, and the friends. We just go hang out every time randomly. That is missing here. One word to describe your typical day in Japan. I always say that ishogashi. It is like busiest, always busy, busy, busy. So time just flies. Cricket or sumo wrestling? Obviously cricket. Sumo wrestling, it's not quite familiar. I don't watch too much. It's Japanese, it's common. Coffee or green tea? I would choose green tea here mostly, but coffee also still I like it. What's your go-to remedy when you are feeling homesick? Go-to remedy is watching. It's not watching. So my seniors also told me it's working. It's like eating the food from your home country, or cooking yourself, or going to the restaurant, or talking to people where you can see. For me, I would watch our Telugu movies, or maybe I'll have our local food, or maybe I'll hang out with our friends. So that's my go-to quick option. So next question, let's go to the next question. That is, Japan is known for its cutting edge technology. How was the technological landscape influenced your studies and research? It's very true. The technological landscape was very diverse and very advanced from many countries. I think it's globally known truth. I said similar words. Japan is known for its technology because they invest on the future technologies. And one of the interesting factor I noticed recently in one of the conference when I went recently, the conference where they said like the best paper awards. So they actually, it's surprising for me the way they considered. So the best paper award they gave such a way that, let's say I gave my findings, and let's say my friend gave some findings. So the findings which are very much influential for all the people in this field for our decade or next 2 decades, they are considered as the best. That means they are finding the dependency or the findings are very much comprehensive, and also it's very good for the consistent technological growth in the field. It's kind of field advancement, you can say. So that was the closest observation. And also the machinery and applications, I could say, like whatever is useful for humans, it's already been implemented. Let's say you go for shopping, or you go for working, or maybe you go for any crowd controlling, or maybe you go for sound management, whatever. If there is something technology is available to make your life is better, they are doing immediately. That was so shocking and so interesting for me. they are using. If it is useful for people, they're just using it on the spot without exception. So that's the interesting part. For example, I could say like the management of the roads and the winter snow management here, they are using all the advanced machines, and the people, but even the moving of the objects and the taking out things were so much advanced. Like you don't need to like put your hard energy, use your smart energy and use the work to be done in a smartest and safest way. And also the advanced automation in the vehicles also, there are like automated driving, and people, my friends who drive, they say it's very easy to drive here because of these options and the driving system here, the advanced sensors and the cameras inbuilt. And the automation in the photography was so surprising, like the taking photos or passports, it's mostly the machines will take, and Xerox machines will take. It's also automatically controlled, and the cash machines in most of the shops are automatic, which we can see in day-to-day life. It was so advanced. It will save the time and also confusions with the people when they work together, and the people keep changing for the ships, and it won't affect because it is already recorded in the computer. It's easy to read out and go forward. So that is, I could say, the technological difference what I observed so far. In the research also, the machinery are so advanced, whatever is useful for many people, they just buy and keep it, and people are allowed to use, and ask people are requested to use the technologies and make the research more effective. The next question is, have you had opportunities to collaborate with Japanese students or researchers? What was your experience be like? Yes, I had a chance to collaborate with Japanese students in the small projects in the high school and even the university. We had some TA works, we collaborate and do work, and even in my laboratory, I work with my seniors and friends sometimes. It was quite interesting, and they will try to always, like, they will try to be particular, and whatever they speak, whatever they are, it's similar to any other the advanced discussions. It will be like that. So far, because I'm in the research field, so all my official collaborations will be very formal and very specific. And high school collaborations, when I did a project with the students, they are so much detailed in nature. When they start work, it's safer and good. Even high school people, they started to work in the research projects. We had interactions and we did some projects together. And even the university, the summer courses, we had projects together. Even this time, the theater course I shared in the channel also, like the theater shows where we trained 3-4 classes and then they have to perform. So that is a collaboration. That's how it goes, I could say, from my experience and observations. So further, as an Indian student, how do you incorporate your cultural background into academic and social life in Japan? So it's specific to India, right? It will vary to each country. So for India, especially from my experience, as being in, as grown up in Andhra, and I traveled almost India, many states, and also I lived in Mumbai for a few days, and I lived in almost Mumbai and Indore. I went for some event, and also I went for Varanasi, and I went for Bangalore, and I went for Bangalore, Chennai, all these many places I visited. Within Andhra, Tamil Nadu, I visited even more. So these are all the places I have. We are actually the consideration are the more what to say, the cohesion or the that's our culture. We are a bit emotional. There is no, they cannot say no for that. So those things, and you are a bit considerate for the people. So sometimes it helps in a positive way, because when things are like they're busy, you need some help, they'll say no. So it will be hard to pursue, but when we know how this practice already, you don't think too much, and maybe it's the, and also some more, what to say, the same style, the patience will be higher. It gives higher patience for us, from my side, I could say. And the persistence, we don't give up, and we go in more in numbers. What we study, we do a lot of math before coming here. That much they do, but it's a different way. So that also it helps here in the work, and also the day-to-day life in the university and study also. And we are more experienced with the particular details. We study a lot in the high school and the secondary high school, and even the PG and the bachelor's engineering course. So that all the studies experience helps here to be more like self-sufficient when you need to work independently. So all these things are advantages for as an Indian, I could say. Maybe it is similar to a few more countries, but that's what I could comprehend for now. And next question: what advice do you have for other Indian students aspiring to study or conduct research in Japanese university? The previous question, the social life, yeah, the social life also, it's more it's very high in India, the party culture and all. So that is also good here because you can initiate and you can collectively go ahead with people and all. Yeah, so my advice for Indian students aspiring to study in Japan and conduct research. So I already shared so much of information in the channel, and still I will share some more my insights every time I speak on like a question to answer basis. My insights I shared very few times. I'll be sharing further. So for now, I would say like. Do homework before you come here, especially the studies and the social life and also the future plans, careers, and your family, everything. Do proper homework and then come here, so it will be more convenient for you. And I've seen some people managed very well, I've seen, and also some people couldn't manage, that also I've seen. So try to follow this background full study or ideal as much as you can do before coming, and the research in the laboratory also try to get familiarized more so that it will be more easier when you come here and actually do the research here. That's my advice. Looking back, what's been the most memorable and surprising moment of your journey so far? Surprising moment and memorable journey so far. So my journey, I went to the Kuramatsunai visit recently in a summer course with students from India, not India, Indians. I think there was no Indians. So we went with the Indonesian students and Filipino students, I think, and Japanese students and Chinese students. So it's a summer course, and it's like up from the public or the regular developments. It's like completely forest and less pollution, almost zero pollution, and the people are way different from the regular what we experience. Already the Hokkaido and Osaka people always say this topic. It's south north. The people are the cultures are different. So likewise, it's more even sophisticated and very special and close to nature. We went to study the water quality, and it was so interesting. And all the people and the work also was interesting to go in that field. I think I didn't make a lot of vlogs, but I made some videos in the channel. You can see that videos in the Sakuravani channel in Nimble Prerana. I hope I made 1 or 2 videos with those audience. And also, yeah, I hope to go again there. It will be so good to spend time there. And also I met so wonderful persons in the visit. Like there are people who came from America and who settled here in the farming cattle farm, and also there are people from other cities, they work here. Some of the challenges like the winter time, the growing the tea trees, and there are a couple of such companies we met in the visit. It was so interesting for me and fascinating, and I want to spend some more time with them. Definitely I would like to consider visiting there. So that's one of the memorable journeys so far. I could say there are many such memorable journeys, maybe I could share later. So such interesting questions like these all 10 questions with the rapid fire we will be sharing again for each countries, and people from India also will share some more discussions with them. Keep watching and stay tuned. Please do subscribe and support. We'll get back again. Thank you everyone. Have a good day.